Welcome back to Daybreak. Today for my health check, I'm joined by Dr. Brad Schwall, CEO for the Center for Integrative Counseling. We're speaking about another mass shooting. I think a lot of people are waking up today going, what just happened? Why did it happen? How do I get through this day? What is your first suggestion, your first piece of advice for how we need to go through the range of emotions that we have today?
Right. Certainly, there's disbelief. How could this happen? We certainly think about our own kids. We have this grief that also is leading to some anger and to some rage. And so then often our response is, what can I do? What can we do about this? And that's a natural response. So both that taking in that grief, and it's completely impossible to understand what it must be like to be in that community. And then you see on social media and in conversations, what can we do?
I'm not sure that there's a lot we can do for other people, but I always like to say there's a lot we can do for ourselves, because this physiological response, right? This anxiety, this stress, this anger that you're talking about, we shouldn't necessarily be sitting with it all day.
Absolutely. Important to take care of ourselves. With our kids, we always say limit exposure, do validate safety and security. The truth of the matter is, we know in our world bad things can happen, and these larger incidents are a reminder that even in our own lives, the unexpected, the unpredictable can happen. And so how do we respond? So I do think bringing it in closer to taking care of ourselves, and that's not selfish, because we all deal with lots of different stressors and trauma. At the same time, we do think in our sphere of influence, what can we do to be the opposite, the antidote to hate, to violence, and how can we influence those around us and our communities around us?
Yeah, look, I always say, and I think I tweeted about this yesterday, if you can offer someone kindness, love, support, communicate with them, reach out, ask how they're doing. If you influence one life, as we have seen, one life can make a difference, right? So I think that piece of the humanity has been missing a little bit, and maybe we reconnect to that.
Yes, so we'll be learning much more about what led to what happened. We will be talking about it, conversing about it, but I do believe that we can focus on that compassion, and with our kids, we do talk about that. We do talk about that unexplainable and that impossible to understand pain they must feel, because we must also teach our kids compassion, and compassion is needed around us too.
I'm sorry, I just have quickly one more question. We hear grief counselors are going to be on hand here, there, everywhere. What do they do? What do they do when a kid comes in, or a teacher comes in, or a parent comes in?
First, there's just purely presence. Presence in a time of grief, tragedy, trauma is so key. There begins to be some unpacking and processing, but by showing that presence, that does show that there will be someone along the way, because dealing with trauma is a long-term process. So that initial phase is that presence, is that beginning to unpack, that validation of the emotion, that validation of the fact they are safe now, but it is a long journey.
Yeah, we appreciate your presence today. Thank you for always making yourself available when we need you. Thank you.